Hey everybody, welcome back to our neck of the woods. So as the title says, we have some issues with the subfloor that we need to take care of. So let's go over that and I'm going to show you what's going on. The first thing is we ended up picking a floor. Not what I 100% wanted to go with, but it's basically what we could afford. We did end up going with OSB because of the price. It is 3/4 of an inch, or 2332 as they call it. And I get tongue and groove, but it's just what we picked up from Home Depot called True Floor from Norboard. Now, again, the reason why we went with that is basically just because of the price. Plywood's more money. Hubert's Vantech OSB is $50 a sheet, and this stuff was on bulk pricing sale right now, so at about $28 a sheet or so. That's a heck of a lot better than $50 from a Vantech. Now, the reason why I ended up going with Home Depot is because I'm just tired of buying stuff from Menards and then waiting forever to never get a rebate. And Menards has, I think they might have Norboard or a different company, but it's basically the same stuff. Nothing that's super name brand that you see all the time out there, you know, on YouTube and stuff like that. So Menards would have been like $1 or $2 cheaper per board. But again, would I ever get that rebate? So it's not really a big deal. So the issues that we're having though with the subflooring is not with the actual subfloor. It's actually with either the Simpson hangers or the LVLs or the I-joists. Now, personally, I think the issue is with the Simpson hangers. So here's what's going on. Some of them, as we set them down in here, ended up getting like completely flush, and some are not. So for example, this one right here, completely flush, perfect. But this one here, raised up too high. This one here, raised up too high. And all of the brackets were hung the exact same way. All of the joists are sitting flush on the bottom. So it's not like they're sitting up too tall. There's just a variation in some of these brackets. And there's one over there on the LVL for particular, where the this is the stair opening again. The bottom of it, most of them are even with that LVL beam right there so that you can hang drywall. But one of them, no joke, is over 1/4 of an inch too high. And that bracket is sitting on the LVL completely down in there. The LVL is sitting all the way in the bracket. And not only is the LVL 1/4 of an inch too high, but it's also 1/4 of an inch too high where, again, you would try and hang your drywall. So we've got major problems that we have to fix with either shimming or sanding down the tops of these. Obviously, it's not a great idea to be sanding down your I-joist because you don't want to really lose structure there for integrity and stuff, but we've got to figure something out. Again, not all of them are that bad. By the time I put that OSB subfloor down and nail it down to the outside LVL here, it may fix itself. But again, perfect example is right here, right now. This piece of 1/2 inch is sitting on the LVLs, but I can stick my entire finger under here where that is just way too high. And again, that is because this LVL is either swelled or the bracket's just not letting it sit down far enough. Now, personally, I think it's the brackets because, again, all of these are basically the same LVL. They either came cut from the same piece, they came from the same lot, they've all been sitting outside the same amount of time. And in fact, if you look at right here, you can see that this LVL to this LVL with this Simpson hanger, we've got almost a completely flush one going on. But then again, look at here, that's probably over 1/4 of an inch too thick sticking up there. Yet this bracket is no different than that bracket, and the install is no different. So something's going on where the base of these brackets just aren't getting low enough. So we got to figure out what we're going to do before we start putting subfloor down. The other thing that we have to take care of before we start doing the subfloor is we got to take care of this foam and we got to take care of the concrete. I designed the house to allow the subfloor to go 2 inches over the foam before it meets the inside foam where this first floor is going to be. So you're going to have a little bit of a 2-inch hangover here, and then you're going to be nailing here. So right now, these foam nubs for the Fox blocks are too tall, and then obviously there's concrete integrated into them. So we're gonna have to go ahead and get a hammer and chisel, or probably an electric awl tool that I have that vibrates back and forth, and just push in here and basically just cut all these nubs off. So that way we can get the subfloor completely flush on the outside. So there's gonna be a little bit of concrete mess getting rid of all of these, but we're gonna go ahead and get started and at least go 4 feet and 8 feet down, hammer that out, see what variation is in these first 8 feet here of I-joist that I need to take care of, and we'll glue and nail one down, see how it looks, and then we'll start going down and see what else we have to do and how many problems that we're going to encounter. Now, someone's probably going to say, why didn't you just run the subfloor right up to the edge of the LVL? Well, that's because, again, with this 2-inch gap here, if we've got the inside foam coming down to here, if you brought drywall down here, you're only taking care of roughly 1/2 inch. So you still have 1.5 inches exposed foam and, you know, pieces of concrete left over. If you put wood trim down here, you may get another 1/2 inch or 3/4. So you would still have exposed foam that your carpet or your hardwood floor would basically have to cover up. And well, basically carpet wouldn't work because the inside nailing strip of the carpet would be in here. You'd still have about 1 inch or so of exposed foam that you'd be able to see. So that's why I designed the subfloor to go over this and basically just get rid of this and hide this. So again, we do have to chisel this out. We do have to get rid of it so we can move it on the subfloor over top of it, and that'll make it look a heck of a lot nicer and basically be hidden when we do that. There's nothing I can do now because these 16 inches on center, for example, where this started, this gap in here is obviously a heck of a lot smaller than the 16 or 15.5 or so that's in here right now. So I started all of these trusses all the way down, or these I-joists all the way down, that the 0-inch mark actually starts in here. So none of the panels are going to fall on a truss if we started here now. So we have to stay with the 2 inches over and basically just take care of all of this mess now. So that's one panel worth. As you can see, it makes a beautiful mess, but it's extremely easy to get rid of because it's just a real thin layer of concrete on top of foam. Once you tap it with the hammer, that foam just moves and the concrete just shatters and breaks. So we just got it brushed off here, off of the LVL, off of basically the top of the foam. So everything right here is completely flush. And we got 4 feet here, we got 8 feet here. So we're gonna go ahead and grab our first panel. We're gonna put a few nails down, see how it looks. And then, we'll probably do screws. Then we'll do nails because we're gonna end up gluing this. But I just wanna see how much variation there is on any of these joints where it's basically too high, but down here it's not really a problem. It got a little bit worse down on there on several of them, especially with the LVL stair opening. So let's go ahead and get a panel down in here and let's see how it looks. All right, so it's another day on the build here. Last night we got several panels up before the sun started going down and getting really dark. So far, so good. Nothing's really been adjusted. Like I said, these first several I-joists have been fine, but we are at the point now where we're at the LVLs where they're sticking up too high. So I did find out that these particular two LVLs, these short runs here, they are too thick. They're 14¼ inches. Now the one LVL over there where I said it's not at the bottom where drywall is gonna go, that seems to be a bracket problem. Now the good thing with those two, at least, being too tall, I can go ahead and shave them down. I went ahead and picked up this Makita hand planer. So because we're 1/4 inch thick, I can totally take off 1/4 inch and we're not gonna hurt anything because we're still gonna be at a 14-inch LVL. So we're gonna knock those down, shave them down real quick, go ahead and throw our panel on here, continue this row, and then I think we'll be good to go all the way up to the stair opening for the rest of these. And then I think I'm gonna leave this exposed right now. To the center of the second LVL, we've got 24½ inches. We are going to be short on paneling. So at some point, we're gonna have to decide to basically cut a panel in half, because at 24½ inches, obviously, we're not gonna get over to 4 feet and then continue with 1, 2, 3, 4 panels, where 4 panels is gonna end with a 2-inch overlap on that side. So it looks like we're gonna have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It looks like we're gonna have 9 panels and a little bit. So instead of just having a little sliver on that end, we're probably just gonna cut a panel a little bit over, so that way we get more usage. So we'll deal with that when we get over on that side. But I think I'm gonna leave this exposed right now until we start getting floor joists on. Get a 100% measurement over there beyond 2 inches, and that way we'll know where we need to cut. It would make sense to put the cut panel here in the middle, since that's got more nailing surface and support, than again having just a little sliver on that end. If you guys haven't noticed, we got the Porsche in the garage. I did not go in through the Porsche bay. I basically just came in at a real sharp angle all the way over here through the double car bay, and then kind of fixed the angling and put it in there properly. So right now, that's where she'll stay for a little bit until we start figuring out what we're gonna do with more stone back there, so I can get it in and out a little bit easier. But again, so far so good. Looks like we only need to shave a few panels, and luckily they're too tall. So we're gonna set up, get knocking at this, and hopefully get this floor done today, because I wanna have dinner up here. All right, so if you're wondering about this shortcut panel here, basically I made a mistake. The end of this LVL, I measured 4 feet from 2-inch overlap. I measured 4 feet in and made a mark, but I ended up putting the bracket on the LVL on the outside, and this side of the LVL should have been on the inside of that mark. So instead of the landing being 4 foot, it's 4'2". So because it's 4'2", I can't get a panel there. I can't get the edge of the panel to meet edge of the LVL on this side, which is gonna go straight down for the stairs. So because of that, I'm gonna go ahead and rip cut a panel down this way, and I left the groove on this side. I'll take another panel, rip cut it down this way so it's flush with the outside of this LVL coming in here, and then the tongue will still sit in there so it'll lock in. Little mistake, not really that much of a big deal. Good thing is the rest of the way is under 16 feet. So I'll be able to run a 8-foot panel this way, and then I'll be able to cut that panel down to, I think, about 6 feet. So it'll all work out. It's just one little section here that panel's a little short, and it'll have an overlap here, but that's plenty of structure and stiffness in there that it's not going to be a problem, but just is what it is. Sometimes you make mistakes in framing. All right, everybody, welcome back. It's been a few days. It's Saturday, September 19th. Basically, to update you where we are right now, we've got all the flooring done up to this point. And as you can see over here in this corner, I did decide to make the half cut right here. So basically we will have like 4.5 panels coming up to here, and then 4.5 panels coming up to here. But because again, this is over 24 inches, I will have to sacrifice basically a lot of panel to fill in here to get that gap. Again, I decided to do the split here because obviously when you're dealing with tongue and groove, the tongue and groove is really for in between this gap right here that the panels can lock in, so you don't have a lot of flex and play in here. But because the main beam is right here, I really don't need a tongue and groove section in here. These boards are fully supported on 3 LVL thick, so they can come together, they can do their 1/8 inch space that the manufacturer wants for expanding and stuff. But again, I don't think a tongue and groove needs to be in here, so we'll just start over there on that side eventually and work our way in, cut that panel to fill in where this 4th panel will stop, and then where it will come up and measure up to here. As you can see also, I got all of the joist hangers hung on that side. I just finished up with halfway on this side. Actually, I'm pretty proud of myself. I did just hang this last LVL here, 26 feet long, by myself, just trying to getting it up, using the ladders, kind of going back and forth, and finally getting it up and sitting in those cradle plates. So unfortunately, we are out of LVL. We ended up cutting too much off of a 26 footer when we were doing the 2nd LVL to spanning the joints. So basically I'm out of one, and I'm gonna have to wait to either buy another 26 footer or maybe a 15 footer to go from here, this pole to that pole, and then that pole to the wall. Haven't really decided yet. These 20 footers here are obviously for each side there and there to be finished off, but Tomorrow being Sunday, I think my dad's coming down to help. Really, I think all we can do is knock out hanging the floor joists over here, the side LVLs, and we only have a few more OSB sheets to kind of put in this area right here. And the reason why I only have a few more sheets of those is because they are heavy as can be. I think they weigh over 80 pounds a piece. So when I went to pick them up from Home Depot, I just got a full case of them, and that thing was already basically gonna max out my trailer or max out what my truck can carry. So we'll have to go pick up a few more. They are still on sale at like $28 a sheet. So we'll get lucky with that I don't have to pay more money. After we knock that out tomorrow, I guess there's a few more things that we can do. Obviously there's webbing and bracing that will take time to do also. I am gonna go to the store tonight. I do wanna pick up the Tapcons. We need to start getting these 3 posts bolted down into the concrete so we can knock that out, and not really sure what else we can do. The windows still need modified. Those are still the original lumber that was in there when we poured the concrete, and just to save on money, that is just regular lumber. It's not treated or anything. For obviously if that window were to ever fail and get rained on, I do have some treated boards over there, so we can chisel all that out, put the treated in, and then seal it and put in mastic behind it so that wood's not directly touching concrete. My dad is cutting some steel plates. That's another thing we have to do real quick. Right now, the LVLs in each corner, they're sitting on concrete. Actually, that side is a little bit up and that side's not as much, but basically we need to shim in a steel plate so these LVLs aren't sitting directly on concrete also. So we'll hammer in some steel plates that he's cutting for the, length, width, and thickness. And then I think at this stage we're gonna be pretty much wrapped up until whenever I can get a 26-footer delivered, or they can deliver to the store and I can go pick it up. An unfortunate mistake. I think they're only about $115 a piece, so it's not the end of the world to lose an LVL. The extra pieces that were left over that were cut, like that piece right there, that 13-footer, that will be enough to run this header right here across here, and then these floor joists or hangers here that will come over here that will close in this gap basically. So 2 LVLs that go from here to here and then attached to a header, so this can be closed off and then the stair opening can be finished off. That piece won't go to waste. We will be able to use it. And then I guess the other thing that we can work on tomorrow actually is we can actually start figuring out these stairs. Now, I've never cut stairs before. We'll probably go to storage and get a few of our ash boards that we had milled that are going to be our stair treads, so we can get a little bit of an idea what it's going to look like. We can also work on the garage stairs because it's kind of a pain in the butt to keep walking up here on this joist right here. Not to mention, I'm going to have to end up using this guy eventually. Another thing that we can work on that's going to take a lot of time is the engineer wants these 3 LVLs bolted together. Even though they're sitting in saddle plates on each post, even though they're sitting in beam pockets where they can't really separate or go anywhere, you do have some variation and a little bit of bowing where you have a little bit of cracks that may create some squeaking and stuff. So he's got it designed that I don't know 100% off the top of my head, but it's basically like 4 inches down from the top, 4 inches up from the bottom, every 16 inches on center. He wants a 1/2 inch bolt to go all the way through there to pinch these LVLs together. So we'll probably start, if this was the end over here, we'll probably start with one really close, and then we'll go down at an angle, and then we'll keep going like that in a WV pattern all the way. So every 16 inches, 4 inches down, 4 inches up, this thing will be bolted together. I think I counted out for this entire thing that there is 72. So that's going to be a lot of holes drilling and then a lot of bolting together. So that's another thing that will take some time that we can probably knock out tomorrow too. One mistake I do have to fix. I got a little overzealous with these 2 boards right here. These will have to be basically notched out from here and over, because wherever the stair header is going to go, let's say it ends right here as you're coming down the stairs this way, these boards for here over and there over are going to be notched out for two reasons. One, I have to put hangers there and I have to put a hanger here. And then second, the piece of subfloor that's going to span over here, I would like that to span and touch at least two floor joists. So if I cut this panel right here in half, I'll be able to bolt it down to this joist, this LVL, span over, and then be on that one and on that one too. Now the LVLs will continue out here for two of them that go across here, so there will be plenty of nailing surface in here also. And then a strip that will go across here will do the same thing. That's why I left this strip open right here, is because I don't exactly know where the header is going to fall. So I will have this piece of OSB will be overlapped, that if I attach one right here for this panel right here, these two joints won't line up. This one here will be a little bit longer, and then same thing here. This one here can go over to this joist, for example, while this panel here will be cut here and attached to here. So again, your seams are staggered. So stay tuned. Again, not much more to do today. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow morning. We'll get working on this, and fingers crossed it goes well, because again, I've never done stairs before, but it'll be nice to get up here and down in the basement officially, safely, and to stop using ladders all the time. Hey everybody, welcome back. So it is Monday, September 21st. I've just run out of material. It's almost about 6 o'clock at night. We've got the subfloor down, as much of the panels that I first bought, the first 42 that were in that entire stack. Fortunately, I only got up to about that far. Aaron and I knocked out all of these floor joists yesterday. Today I got in all of the blocking, I got in all of the webbing, and I got what I was talking about the other day with the bolts. If you look right here, in between every single void here, if you will, is a 1/2 inch bolt going all the way through. And since we only have enough LVL for that third beam pretty much halfway through, pretty much just stopped right there. So we're all bolted up. The only thing I still have to do, which just because I'm lazy and I hate going all the way down to the store, is I still have to pick up the Tapcon bolts to get these posts set in. They're pretty much set in stone now where they are. That last LVL, that I'll probably need 2 people for, because you have to basically lift equally here, and then drop it down in, as opposed to this third LVL that I put myself in. I just leaned it up there into that beam pocket, picked it up and over, and it dropped down in. But you won't be able to do that because these 2 corners basically aren't going to allow them to come in at an angle. They have to come straight down in. So we'll have to wait until that gets here anyway. It is ordered. This can be knocked out at any point in time, but right now I think we're back to a waiting game. We just have to wait and see how long that LVL is going to take to get here. We can knock out the Tapcons anytime, and tomorrow I am going to go ahead and pick up more subfloor, and then we need to get cracking on these staircases. I've been going back and forth with staircase designs for so long. Looking at multiple different calculators, asking different people, because I really don't want to mess these up. I think I will be safe for my back cut in, that I'll have enough lumber still there to go ahead and use a 2x12, because the 2x12s that I'm looking at are about 18 feet long. So I don't want to pay that in LVL. That is probably more than double the price. And I'm going to be using 4 of them. So as you come down the side there, they'll be bolted in this way and sitting in hangers this way. And because it's so wide, we're going to have 4 basically, 4 stringers to support all that load and to have that staircase really rock solid. LVL would probably be stronger, but again, with 4 2x12s, again, there's enough back cut material still there that it'll be safe to use our 2.5 inch treads. 12 inches deep, and to get the proper rise and run that I want. Now, if for some reason the stairs seem weak or that 2x12 doesn't really like the load, what I have seen people do is, as the stairs are coming down this way, where you back cut your rise and run, some people can put a 2x4 on each side of that and bolt it together. So that'll basically make each stringer bulletproof, that it won't like snap in between that gap where you cut in. So not really worried about that, but we'll probably save that for another video. I've been editing this video for a few days and I know that it's getting kind of long, so we'll probably start this video back up tomorrow with installing the stairs for getting down into the basement. Obviously we're not going to use our treads that we had milled. We're just going to go ahead and probably just grab some 2x10 scrap or go buy some just 2x12s and cut them up. So that way when we're in and out of the basement, we can tear them up and, you know, not really worry about screwing up the ash treads that we had milled. So we'll get started on that tomorrow. We will probably TapCon tomorrow, the posts holding up the main beam, and then after that, really, unfortunately, it's another waiting game, waiting on the roof trusses to still show up, waiting on that last LVL to show up, and then probably another weekend to get that back LVL placed, and then go ahead and hang the rest of the joists. But we can do a little bit of subfloor tomorrow up until obviously halfway point. Obviously I can't go beyond right here because an 8-footer is going to go beyond that, and I'm not going to leave it just hanging. So we'll probably only get one more 8-footer in here before we have to stop on the third run, and then one 8-footer in here before we have to stop on this one, and then probably just notch this out right here. On a positive note though, real quick, Aaron and I did start laying out everything, if you're wondering what these blue lines are. So again, you guys can kind of understand what's going on. When you come into the house from the garage, there'll be a 36-inch door right here, and you're coming in here. This is the laundry room. So right here on this back wall, you'll have washer, dryer, sink. And this is 8 foot wide by almost 7 foot wide. We put the laundry room here instead of a mud room because we wanted the washer dryer to be closed off and be quiet so you can't hear it. So there'll be another door here that'll shut, so this laundry room is completely enclosed. Then when you walk in here, you're now into the mud room. Here will be a nice big 36-inch window, and along here will be bench seating and stuff where you'll hang your coat up on a nice like mud room kind of coat rack and shoe insert thing. I'm sure you've all seen one of those before. And then these two little lines right there and right there, that's a 4-inch open doorway as you go into the kitchen. So this doorway will get light from that window coming straight through here into the kitchen, so that way you're getting light from the front of the house. Over here is our pantry. And then all along this back wall, we'll obviously have an oven and countertops and cabinets and everything else. Right about in here somewhere, supported over the main beam, will be an island with a nice big granite countertop. So all of that weight will be supported by pretty much the strongest point of the house. And then that's all we got to. The front door, if you can just use your imagination, will go somewhere in here. This is a hall closet that will just hang guest coats and stuff like that in. And then right over here will be another large window, so the light can shine down the stairs as you're going down in. And then, like I said before, this all over here is the master bedroom, master bathroom, master closet. So right here will be a wall cutting off this landing, and that wall will go all the way to the back of the house. This wall, because the master is upstairs, and because there's the living room and the dining room and the kitchen and the foyer, everything up in here where a lot of loud stuff can be going on, because Aaron and I are on 2 different schedules for work, I do plan on making this wall either out of a 2x6 or a 2x8. That way I can insulate the crap out of it with rock wool. And basically, if you are sleeping back here, you're really blocked off from noise that's going on in here. Now, where this wall goes all the way back there, right around in here, we do have about a 7x7 office space. So coming in from the dining room, you'll again go through a nice big 4-foot by 8-foot doorway. You'll go into an office with a desk back there with a window so that you'll be looking out there that you can, you know, go ahead and do stuff on a computer, etc. And then actually you'll have the wall over here for the main door going into the master bedroom. So that gives you a little bit of a buffer zone that you're not just walking straight into a master. But it is a office that's completely open to noise and everything, so it's not really that cut off, but it gives the illusion that you're kind of cut off from the main living area. Haven't decided if there's going to be a bathroom up in here. I think because this is all going to be completely open, people can just go straight down here, turn in here, and go into the bathroom that are going to split these you know, Jack and Jill bedrooms. And then of course we'll have a bathroom in our master in case somebody can't use the stairs. They'll just have to go through our bedroom, which I know a lot of people don't like that, but really didn't plan on having a half bath or anything up in here to lose space. But the rest of this is all just open dining and kitchen and everything else and living room. So as you're sitting here like on a couch, that back wall again right there where the stairs are, that's where the fireplace and TV and everything will be, which again is another reason why I want that wall insulated, because that TV can carry sound through the master wall there right into the bedroom. So you want that shut off so it's not waking anybody up. But we'll probably have a basement living area also. But that should pretty much wrap the house up. But we'll go ahead and show you all the windows and doors and all that stuff at a later time. But at least you guys got kind of a setup of what everything's going to look like. So again, we're going to wrap this video up here. I'm going to get started on the stairs because I'm tired of using this stupid ramp. And I need this floor joist eventually. But we will see you guys all later. All the time that you guys are watching is amazing. Like, our minute count is like through the roof. It's awesome. But please please subscribe. Turn the bell on if you do want to get notified of future videos that when we post them, so that way you can jump right on and start watching so you don't miss anything. And we enjoy all your guys' company here, and we will see you all later.